Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on this Wednesday evening. Lovely to have you guys in for another episode of the Prime Time Show. Hope everybody is feeling right, living well. It is the last Prime Time Show of the week because I am taking the rest of the week off, both on radio and on streaming, because it's my birthday tomorrow. And I love you all, but I do not love you enough to spend my birthday evening with you. So we are going to get into DeAndre Hopkins and the conversation about how much of a contender does it actually make them to have him on the roster at this point. Alan Kress is hanging out, says, what happens first? The show starts day one of training camp. It's pretty close, right? Pretty close at this point. But yes, I am here. Don't you worry. We will always be here. It's just a matter of what time exactly I am able to arrive. Anyway, so like I said, how much of a contender, how much more in contention does the DeAndre Hopkins signing, whenever it happens, he still hasn't officially signed yet. I feel like I have to continue to repeat it over and over again. But yes, he indeed has not signed his contract just yet. And so until such time, I have to continue to say when he signs his contract, because the contract is not yet, the terms are agreed upon, but the terms have not yet been signed, sealed, and delivered at this stage. So whenever he does sign, should he sign at this point, it is believed that he is going to sign the contract. We can talk about it within the context of when he signs, how much better will this actually make them rather. And so we'll get into that conversation tonight. We'll also talk about George Fant, the offensive tackle who is coming in for a workout on Saturday. Have some good information for you on that. And I think that there is going to be, we'll do rising and falling to end the show, even though you see Bert on your graphic there. Before Mr. Jones says wrong graphic. No, that was done intentionally. Things are so I told you it's my birthday tomorrow, but it was my girlfriend's birthday tonight. My girlfriend is she's a triplet, so we had a birthday dinner, and the graphic is the thing that got lost in the shuffle. So you will accept my sincerest apologies. That is where I am coming directly from. So yes, we are working with Monday's graphic at this point, but the theme is still the same. That's okay. We'll get into these things together over the course of this evening's show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I need you first to share this show around, if you would be so kind. If you are hanging out on Twitter, please retweet the show in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you are on Facebook Live, you can share now to public. That is on the bottom left. If you are on YouTube or Twitch, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you tell a friend to do the same if you would be so kind. A lot of birthdays. You guys are submitting birthdays in the chat. Royal writes his brother's birthday tomorrow with mom and dad's anniversary. Well, congratulations to your mother and father, Roy, and a very happy birthday to you to your brother at this stage. Jimbo says that I'm getting old as F. Yeah, 30 tomorrow, kids. Woof. That's some real shit. I am not ready for well, that's not true. We're not going to talk about my birthday. We got Titans to talk, and I'm already a little behind the eight ball on the show. So we will continue to talk Titans, and then, if I want to get self-involved in the show, maybe we'll do that. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time from the Superbook Sports Studios. I'm your host, Buck Rising. I'm proud, as always, to be presented to you by the wonderful people at Superbook Sports. Download the Superbook app, and they will match your first bet up to $250 with that promo code ATOZ. That's A2Z when you download the Superbook Sports app. And of course, TrueMath Fitness in the Gulch. Haven't been able to make my personal training on Tuesday and Thursday this week because of SEC Media Days, but you guys know how much I love the program at TrueMath, how effective it's been for me. 58 pounds, a new low this week, 190. I don't think I haven't been 190 since like my sophomore year of high school. It's wild. TrueMath Fitness is the place for you to get the new and best version of you. All right, so DeAndre Hopkins and his acquisition, his forthcoming acquisition, right? Because you as we said, not agreed. Well, the terms have been agreed to. The contract has not yet been signed. Antonio asks Buck, "Do you know when D Hop is supposed to sign his contract?" No, I have no idea. That is, I think that when you look at the situation for DeAndre Hopkins, there has to be a corresponding move. You've seen no reports of a corresponding move yet. I would imagine you would see news of a restructure, news of an extension, news of a release before you see the DeAndre Hopkins money officially agreed to, because they do have to free up some money to make this deal work specifically. So they have the terms agreed upon, but they have not been able to sign the contract yet, because until such time as they make that corresponding move, they can't actually give him the money, right? They don't have the money to give him until that money is freed up. So this is kind of the situation where things are at. But I mean, he's tweeting, tighten up. He's tweeting about the doubters, all these different things. Alan Chris says you should definitely ask DeAndre Hopkins to tell you for your birthday. He can't say no. It's a birthday. Yeah, but the problem is, you guys know how I am about my birthday. It's my birthday is a whole month, and that's why we did my girlfriend's birthday tonight, because I knew that my birthday was about to take up all of the oxygen this weekend, tomorrow through Sunday, basically. Tomorrow at the end of the show at 12:55, I'm going to be drinking in the Grand Hyatt lobby as soon as we get done from SEC Media Days, and the festivities will continue through Sunday evening, where I will be at the Ed Sheeran concert, which I'm very excited about. But anyway, we are going to take a look at how much more competitive this football team is with DeAndre Hopkins' presence. Of course, they are a better football team with DeAndre Hopkins, but does that mean that you are going to immediately be in Super Bowl contention? Should you be considered one of the favorites in the AFC even with this acquisition? And that's what we're getting ready to work through at this stage. This has been cast into some. There's been some doubt cast upon how much actually more competitive this football team gets with DeAndre Hopkins' presence, and that's where I'd like to start with your Two Rivers Ford take on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch in the comment section. Does DeAndre Hopkins make the Titans a playoff contender? It's presented by your Two Rivers Ford take is presented by Two Rivers Ford. You can go to Two Rivers Ford for quality American-made Ford vehicles. You can see their logo right there. I'm like a weatherman. I got to remember which way I have to point at this. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet, or online at tworiversford.com. Quality American-made Ford vehicles and award-winning customer service. The best in the business for 40 years in Middle Tennessee is Two Rivers Ford. Patrick P 5005 says it's your B-Day weekend, just like a teenage girl. That's right. That's right. And what of it? Like, if you want to be miserable and not appreciate your birthday, that's fine. I run my birthday into the ground. In fact, you know what? Bert, get on this screen right now. He's going to hate me for this. Get on this screen right now and stall for me, because I have a prop that I need to acquire. So don't leave your shirt off. Nobody cares at this point. People are happier to see you than they are to see me. Appear for the people and allow me to go acquire the thing that I need to be able to do this bit successfully.
You call me in here when I'm in the room, a dark room. I look like a troll. I just finished smoking a cigarette. Also, everybody in the chat, I don't care what time you got in here. Buck was late as hell today. So instead of happy birthday, in lieu of happy birthday for the rest of this weekend as he's going to celebrate, do not wish this man happy birthday on any social medias. Do not get him a gift. Do not send him a personal message to his direct message or to his text. He doesn't deserve any of that. We should boo this man in the chat. I don't know why we would appreciate him on his birthday. He expects us to appreciate him all year round. So if I'm being honest, he should probably stick to one day, which he's going to take Friday off anyway. So goodbye.
Now we can do the show, and I can truly act like a teenage girl, because you're damn right it's my birthday weekend, and I'm going to act like it. So as we proceed, I don't know what the hell Bert said to any of you. I'm sure it was wildly inappropriate, and hopefully it didn't offend the sponsors. But at this stage, we are going to get into the discussion about how much more competitive this team actually gets with the situation and DeAndre Hopkins on the roster. Why doesn't he have a shirt on before getting on camera? Because he's at home and it's almost 9 o'clock at night. My man wants to be comfortable. He can do this show however he wants to. Don't tell him he has to put on a shirt. You don't have to wear a shirt. You're probably not wearing a shirt, Bobby. Why don't you put on a shirt? I bet Barrett looks better without a shirt on than you do, Bobby. Tell him he doesn't need a shirt. Out of here. Alan says he attempted a mutiny. I think that at this point, you look at the situation. You look at the situation for DeAndre Hopkins, and you have to understand that for the Tennessee Titans, at least my expectation. I can't speak for you all, but like my expectations heading into the season was, whatever happens, happens, right? House money. And at that point, should Traylon Burks develop and turn into a legitimate top option in their passing game, should Chigakonkwo take a meaningful step? Like, I still looked at this season as things that could be accomplished, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they were going to be an overwhelmingly effective football team, that they were going to be a meaningfully effective football team. Now, Hopkins, I do think, changes that immediately just by his presence on the roster. Jimbo correctly says D Hopkins made expectations go up a lot. They should have. They are raised for me because the question is, does this make them a playoff contender? A playoff contender. Nothing more than, I'm not saying Super Bowl, I'm not saying division, I'm saying, can they make the playoffs with this current roster construction and with the acquisition, including the soon-to-be acquisition of DeAndre Hopkins? My answer is yes, but there's certain people out there who doubt you.
The Jaguars are here to stay now. It is built a brand new facility. You got Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball, Doug Peterson calling the plays. Are you kidding me? Travis Etienne running? Are you kidding me? The only person that may be able to help the Tennessee Titans is the guy sitting on the other side of this screen, which is me talking to you. And I'm not coming out of retirement. The Jaguars are going to win this division, and it's not even going to be close.
Oh, they're going to run away with it? They're going to smoke everybody?
Well, Steve, they do have. It won't be close.
They do have.
I'm just letting you know now. It won't be close.
We don't.
So, Maurice Jones-Drew, famously a Jaguar, right? But has always given the Titans love. Always, MJD has not been, I know a lot of you guys hate him from his time, and understandably so. He used to run roughshod over that entire division. He is a Jaguar, right, to his core, and that he's picking his team in this situation is no surprise. He has consistently been on the Titans, though, in the last couple of years, because Lone Star Titan says MJD lost his mind. Why? Why has he lost his mind? Now, run away with the division? No. That is too strong. And listen, MJD is doing television. He's going to have strong opinions. And that's fine. Like, it hurts nothing for MJD to have strong feelings about the franchise that he used to play for. Now, what I will say to you is nobody is running away with this division. No, nobody. Nobody is good enough to run away with this division. Not the Colts, not the Texans, not the Jaguars, not the Titans. This division is only going to be made more of a cannibalistic shit show by nature of DeAndre Hopkins' presence. It was probably going to be that anyway, because again, Jacksonville is good. Jacksonville is ascending. Jacksonville is not somebody who I trust just yet. Now, maybe this year, we see that true ascension from Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is an ascending player, but like, even based off last season, I don't think that he is somebody who I can outright say, like ESPN, the poll that they do of executives, coaches, players around the league, and Trevor Lawrence was a top 10 quarterback in football this year, according to ESPN's polling. And I thought that was wild because Trevor Lawrence struggled. Trevor Lawrence was the best version of Trevor Lawrence that we've seen so far, and they won a playoff game, and they finished strong down the stretch to their credit. But there are still some inconsistencies with him as a player that have to be ironed out before I can, automatically just give the division to the Jags that way. Again, nobody in the AFC South is running away with anything at this point. All four of these teams have serious and significant questions about their, I won't say competency, because I do think that the Titans are a competent organization. But their consistency at this stage is something that I think is fair to question. right? So as we look at the AFC South, I do think that the Titans are immediately in contention to win their division. I think they've got a better. I think they've got the best skill position talent, including Derek and the tight ends of any of these four franchises. I think that they have the most reliable to date. The other two are rookies in the NFL, so Richardson and Stroud are obviously removed from this conversation. But Ryan Tannehill is a more reliable player at this stage in their careers than Trevor Lawrence. Now, Trevor Lawrence can grow. This is going to be what, year 3 for Lawrence? It's still so early. So, he could be your nightmare for the next 10 to 15 years, right? Tannehill is the more reliable player at the position. He's the more consistent player at the position. He just has less help. So I think when you, I think when you look at everything around the circumstance for the AFC South, does it make them a contender for the playoffs? Hell yes. And if you get to the playoffs, are you a Super Bowl contender, whether you're a wild card or the number 1 seed? The answer is yes, because all you have to do is make the postseason, and then you can game plan, you can strategize, you can try and be as healthy as humanly possible. Ultimately, it comes down to health and luck at that stage, because random shit happens in football all the time. Make the postseason, and then it's all fair game. It's resetting the board to 0, basically, with all of these teams, every team that makes the playoffs on either side of the bracket. And so I would say to you that should the Titans make the playoffs, they are immediately a Super Bowl contender. Full stop. Jay Street says they barely beat Dobbs, Buck, if not for the injuries. When the Titans were 7-3, the Jags got lucky is all. And that's okay, but that's fine. The Jags got lucky and they beat you, right? Like that, you're proving my point, Jay. They got lucky and they made the playoffs. They got a good call. Titans got a bad call on the incomplete pass that was called a fumble, and they got lucky and they made the playoffs and they won a playoff game that they probably got lucky in. You're proving my entire point. Proving my entire point. There is such a degree of randomness in this that you can do everything right. Like there's games that the Titans lost in that 7-game stretch that they were very competitive in, right? And the reason that they bottomed out more than any other reason is because the quarterback got hurt. And once your quarterback goes down, that's the biggest difference between 2021 and 2022. You had less injuries in 2022, but your quarterback went down. And the quarterback is vastly more important than anybody on that roster, including Derrick Henry, which we saw in 21. So as you, Alan says, calm down, Buck, your crown is going to fall off. No. This thing is very, very stable. We're good at this stage. This thing, I've got a big head. Shocking to nobody. So the crown, even though it's a little bit on tilt, crown's not going anywhere. This thing might as well always be on my head, for the way that I act. But don't you worry about my crown. So as you look at the scenario, MB correctly says last year is last year, and this is the way that I wish everybody would look at football. Last year is last year. Nothing carries over from last year. The only thing that carries over from year to year is the names on the back of the jerseys. And even then they turn over at a higher rate than at any other period in the history of the NFL. Coaches turn over, players turn over, front office general managers turn over, right? Hardly anything that you think heading into a football season based on the context of a season previous, hardly anything is actually applicable, right? There are some things that hold true, right? Patrick Mahomes is still going to be the best quarterback in football. Mike Vrabel is still going to, have a skull grizzly or a skull. I know those are two different kind of choose, but a grizzly-sized imprint on his pants as long as he's coaching on the sidelines, right? There are some things to be certain, but for the most part, football is a reset the board to 0 type of sport each and every year. And so when you see these kind of things, so Mims to the Lions, did that happen official? Wow, I'm surprised they got a deal done. That just happened literally 4 minutes ago, according to Ian Rappaport of the NFL. I'm sorry, Connor Hughes broke that news first. Connor Hughes is a New York sports reporter, NFL reporter for SNY TV, covering the Jets and Giants. Okay, so breaking: the Jets are trading Denzel Mims, a wide receiver, for those of you who are paying attention to the Detroit Lions. Sources tell SNY TV. So for those of you who wanted Mims, he is officially off the board. So DeAndre Hopkins makes them a better football team. A quick reminder that the Primetime Show is made official by, or made official, made possible by the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. It's also made official by the Ashton Real Estate Group. But you can get the intel edge you need to succeed at GaryAshton.com. The Ashton team is the best in the business. They're the official real estate agent of the Nashville Predators. They also make the A to Z Sports Tuesday Titans Instagram Q&A that I do with you guys on the IG story for A to Z Sports possible. So we're grateful for everything that the Ashton team does. You will be too when you don't sell without the intel. So as you look at the situation for the Tennessee Titans, you understand that there's a level of competitiveness here that the standard, I don't want to say the standard, the expectations, the stakes have been raised for this year's Titans team, because what they're trying to do is something that's very, very difficult to do. In fact, Robert is a Ravens fan. I think the Ravens have done this well. The Steelers have done this well. The Packers have done this well, but that's partly because they went from somebody like Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. The Colts with Manning and Luck, right? There are reasons why franchises from time to time are able to effectively straddle between one era of their football franchise. So in the case of the Titans, it's Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill, and that current core, that's on the decline, right? On the ascent is Burks, Chig, maybe Levis, maybe Willis, maybe Spears, right? The old guard is starting to phase out, and the new guys are coming to fruition. And what the Titans are trying to do is lessen that gap between the two, right? Still be a competitive football team while trying to get your quarterback of the future and solidify your offensive line in front of Ryan Tannehill and give both quarterbacks, whomever this year, I mean, Tannehill this year and whomever it might be next year. With that being said, find a wide receiver like DeAndre Hopkins to make that transition easier, right? They're trying to bridge the gap in as competitive a way as humanly possible. And what you see at that point is a lot of teams fail to do that. A lot of teams really struggle. That's why bad teams do stupid shit like tank. Tanking doesn't work. Tanking in the NFL is not an effective strategy. Tanking in the NFL is a one-hit wonder. If you're the one team that hits, then you're the anomaly. You're not the rule. Quarterbacks, the percentage that they actually pan out, especially even in the first round, where you think you've got the future of your franchise for the next 10 years, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Mitch Trubisky, right? I mean, even like Josh Rosen, quarterbacks miss all the time in the first round. Tanking is a dipshit strategy. And one, it's also not something that most NFL franchises are going to sign up for, because you have too many people's jobs tied up in the idea of wins and losses in this sport. Too many people's families tied up in the idea of wins and losses in this sport. Mo Francois says tanking isn't real. Everyone's competing for a job, coaches, players, and staff. No, it's real. It's real. What the Dolphins tried to do, the Dolphins are being punished for it, as a matter of fact. What the Dolphins tried to do was actively tank, and they did it poorly. And because Brian Flores came back around and said, no, we're not messing with this. I'm not taking your $100,000 handshakes. And as you said, the competitiveness took over. But their intent, clearly and obviously, to everybody, tank for Tua. The Colts did it. Suck for luck, right? The Titans losing a game to that year's Indianapolis team almost cost them the number 1 overall pick. So, you get to a certain point, whether that's, middle of October, late November, early December, where you look around and say, all right, there's the percentage chance that we actually pull this thing out in a meaningful way. Maybe we play some young guys. It's not actively tanking, right? It's more passively tanking at that stage. But I think that, tanking as a strategy is not something that is ever going to be employed here under Mike Vrabel. It's something that, frankly, you should be grateful for, because if you're signing up for a season of tanking football for the idea, for the hope of something that you have no idea whether it's going to pan out or not, then I think you are very, very misguided in your approach to how the NFL actually operates, or should operate, to be completely honest with you. All right, so let's talk. So we did have a question surrounding Denzel Mims at this point, but that has since been taken off the board. The question that Robert has now changed it to: which remaining free agent would you like to see the Titans add? We will talk about this together on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. I have one in mind who's got a workout scheduled for Saturday, and I have some information on that particular player that I think you might find valuable. We will get to that here in just a second, right after I remind you that Primetime is presented by TrueMath Fitness. in the Gulch. TrueMath Fitness is the best place for you to get the best version of you. Their coaching staff will push you without overexerting you. Their coaching staff will help you find the best workout possible and get you on a plan, get you in a pattern that will allow you to achieve your fitness goals. Whether it's for me personally, it was just my overall health. Like, you guys know how big I got. I was damn near 200. I mean, I think I was 248 at my heaviest. 250 pounds is an outrageous amount of weight for a 6'2". I mean, I'm taller than the average human, but 6'2", a ton of weight for somebody my size to be carrying around. I am now 190 pounds because of the path that TrueMath Fitness helped me find for myself, to be able to understand how to maximize my fitness and also to be able to take advantage of their great facility. TrueMath Fitness has the best coaches, the best group fitness classes, and the best facility in downtown Nashville. TrueMathFitness.com is where you go for your first workout free as a Middle Tennessee resident, and for all of their great membership options. Rishi says, I'm trying to get to your way, Buck. Go to TrueMath, baby. TrueMath is the truth. I'm telling you. I swear by him. Worth Campbell, the owner, and the guy who I do my personal training with, Worth's a stud. Worth's a huge Titans fan. They have a suite at Nissan Stadium, as a matter of fact. And it's always fun to go in there and chop it up about the Titans, because I know he's going to pepper me about DeAndre Hopkins or NPF. Or, in fact, I think the morning that NPF got suspended, before Schefter ultimately broke the news, I had to tell Worth, hey, I got a call on Tuesday night that your right tackle is probably going to be suspended for 6 games. And I was trying to break it myself, and Schefter got there first, and that's okay. Sometimes that happens. So looking at the best available free agents at this stage. Well, Jags got juices. Damn, that boy was big. Yeah, I'm telling you. I wish that we had a picture. Like, honestly, that's the best endorsement for TrueMath that I could do. I wish we had a picture from this time last year of just my face versus what my face looks like now. Bert pointed it out to me the other day from the bowling event, because we had a promo bowling event video from last year's event. By the way, I don't know if I've thanked you guys for those of you who came out and support and hung out with us, but it was an incredible evening last Thursday at King's Bowling, Cool Springs. But yeah, the best endorsement for TrueMath I can do is put two side by side pictures of my face and tell you how effective TrueMath has been in even just the last calendar year. So best available free agents. Who do you think? For me, you could go a variety of different ways with this question. Jackie Holbert says Fant, they need a good swing tackle. Galladay, says Lou Man. Oh, been a while since we've seen Lewis. Hi, it's good to see you, bud. Long time no see. Lou Man says Kenny Galladay, who is still out there, but right now you're wide. Funny for me to tell you that your wide receiver room is a little crowded now, but I don't know that Kenny Galladay is going to outright help you. And for the price, I would not go that direction. Stephen King says add Fournette. He knows the division. I saw that Lenny is signing with he's working out for the Patriots, not signed with the Patriots, because I saw Tom Pelissero make a Lombardi-Lenny joke the other day, and Leonard Fournette he's got a Super Bowl ring to his credit. They won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady in that COVID 2020 year. B. French says is your girlfriend's sister free agents. Well, she's got a sister and a brother. The sister is married, and I believe the brother is also engaged or married. So either way, I believe your options are slim to none at this stage. Just put me in A to Z jail, says B. French. I'm thinking about it. we need a horny bonk, some kind of horny bonk situation. Maybe I'll get a rubber mallet in here. I've got my crown. We can do props on prime time. We'll keep the horny mallet, the bonk mallet by on the side of my desk here. And every time one of you gets too horny, we'll just bonk you real quick. No comments about the siblings of my significant other at this stage. So looking at the free agent list, right? George Fant is somebody who is going to be a name that gets cited most often, right? He is a veteran tackle. He is somebody who has been serviceable. I wouldn't call him good at this stage, but I would say that he is serviceable. And certainly for a team with a suspended right tackle for the first 6 weeks of the season, he is somebody who He is somebody who I think would immediately benefit this football team. He's a good athlete. He's in his 30s now, I believe. He's been around the league for a while. He's I don't want to call him a local product. He's a semi-local product from just up the road. Bowling Green, I think, is about an hour and 15. He played at Western Kentucky and obviously has a basketball background. Started with the Seahawks, played a couple of years, dealt with injuries for a couple of years with the Jets, and now has been most recently available on the free agent market. Grim Jim 69 says, bring back Lawan for a cheap year. Taylor, wait. So I told you that I was 248 at my heaviest. Taylor's 250. He's 250 pounds. Taylor is down as much weight as I am. Taylor is he's 6'7". He's probably, I bet Taylor's not 260. I bet I haven't asked him I don't know why I would ask him his weight, but like Taylor is not playing football. I mean, he hasn't said that officially, but Taylor is not playing football in 2023. I mean, he still works out. I know he works out, but he's not working out. Like, so Ben Jones, for example, I have two examples of this very subject. Ben Jones, who was on the radio show, did almost the entirety of the radio show with me. What was that? Yesterday. Ben came down for SEC Media Days. He's hanging out. He's chilling. And so because of that, Ben had some time to come kick with us. So I have a picture of me and Ben sitting next to one another yesterday at SEC Media Days, just at the table. Now like I said, I'm 6'2". I'm 190 at this stage of my life. Ben is I would say that Benny is probably 6'3", 6'2". He's probably right around my height, but the size difference between me and Ben versus like me and Taylor, just for context, is honestly pretty jarring when you actually see it in real time. So here's I'll upload this for you. I don't have the video of me and Lawan from Beer Olympics handy, but here is a picture of Ben and I side by side. Ben, and that we're sitting down at the table, but like, look how much bigger physically, wider physically, more, what's the way, girthy is the wrong word, but honestly, like, Ben is so much physically bigger than I am at this stage. Now Benny is going to get back into the league at this stage. Robust. Thank you, Bert. Robust, a better word than girthy. That's correct. But I think that when you look at Ben, you see an offensive lineman there in Ben next to somebody who is, of above average size to the normal human being, but is not, clearly next to an NFL offensive lineman. Ben's going to play football 2023. He's just not going to be medically cleared for week one because in his words, he had a shit ton of surgeries this offseason. So he is currently awaiting more and more time to pass for training camp because Ben is at a stage at 34 years old that he doesn't need to participate in training camp. And if I can easily, I'm going to see if I can find this video of Lawan and I standing next to one another, because I do think it's worth you guys to see the difference between Ben and I and Taylor. I tell one of those players is going to play professional football in 2023, because the difference is honestly jarring. Now, this is a video opposed to a picture. So, maybe not quite clear, obvious. It's airdropping from my phone to my laptop right now, and as soon as we have that available for you, we will show you as an example exactly just how big a difference there is between me and the former left tackle of the Tennessee Titans, who formerly is 305, 303 pounds. Taylor was a giant human being. Just to look at Taylor now from what I normally associate. I don't think this video is going to work at this particular stage. That's fine. You guys can go find it. It's on Bussin' with the Boys Twitter account. I think you can search my Twitter handle and Bussin's Twitter handle, and it'll probably come up. But point being, like, Taylor's not playing in 2023. So Fant is the correct answer. Now he's coming in for a workout on Saturday, and here is what I have from a an undisputably good source on Fant at this stage. And I will let you in on his logic as to how he is approaching this particular workout. So he has a few offers at this point. He is coming here with a strong enough offer. He is coming here with the intent of receiving a strong enough offer that he can turn down the other offers. But if they do not meet what he thinks that he is going to be worth, then his plan is to wait. His plan is to wait that out for a team who is willing to pay him what he believes that he's worth at this stage in his 30s. That is going to. He's not going to play for vet minimum. Point being, at this stage, Dwayne Carroll says Lawan could play guard. Lawan couldn't play guard when he was 305 pounds. You want him to play guard now? What are you talking about, Dwayne? It's like some of the shit you guys say is wild to me. MB says, and what does that tell you when guys drop that kind of weight that fast? Well, one, that offensive linemen are wildly unhealthy in the way that they are required to maintain their weight. That's what Taylor is supposed to look like. I hope for Ben. Ben wants to play football, and Ben is a friend of mine. Ben is somebody who I've really, really enjoyed working with over the course of my career here. And but I want Ben to stop playing football so that he can resume a healthy and normal life and be the size that he's supposed to be, as opposed to, whatever it is that he looks like right now, which is clearly trying to keep on enough weight to be able to handle guys like Jeffrey Simmons and Chris Jones and all these other things. JR says a lot of the weight isn't muscle. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is, but there is a fair amount of weight that isn't. That's true. But they're just kind of bloated all the time, which sounds like a personal and living hell. Timothy Miller says it feels like the Titans are going to shock the nation this year. Call me stupid. I mean, listen, you believe what you want. You can say, literally, Timothy, you can say whatever you want about your football team. What's today? July the 19th? Doesn't matter on July the 19th. I have no idea. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's false. You may be right. You may be painfully wrong. Who's to say? But it doesn't matter on July the 19th. So like I said, you can have whatever superstitions that you desire at this stage, because none of it matters in July. Okay. It says in case you missed it on the graphic, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do rising and falling candidates of the week on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Whose stock rose and whose stock fell the most in sports? On Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, as I mentioned, you guys can give me your submissions, and I will give you mine here in just a second. Right after I tell you who makes the primetime show possible. That, of course, is Superbook Sports right there. Download the Superbook Sports app, and they will get you in on the action. They'll even match your first bet up to $250 with the promo code ATOZ. That's A2Z in the Superbook Sports app. They will always have the best odds boost and promo bets out there, and they will make sure that you get in on the action for all your favorite major teams. Superbook.com is where you go. Terms and conditions are there as well. Gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. Timothy Miller adds, for positivity's sake, brother, for positivity's sake, you have a hell of a good radio voice, brother. Thank God, because I have 5 streaming shows to do a week, 15 hours of sports talk radio to do a week, 2 podcasts a week, and people keep telling me to talk into microphones for money. So I'm going to keep talking into microphones for money as long as people keep making comments like that. All right. Whose stock rose? Whose stock fell at this week or throughout the course of this week? Rising stock. Vols recruiting, adding 5-star Mike Matthews today. Yes, a big win over, I believe, Georgia is who they beat the recruit out for. So it was so important that Lucas from the radio show called me and said, listen, we got to talk about this Vols recruit that they just scooped out from under UGA. And I was in the middle of dinner, and I took a second to look through and kind of familiarize myself, because NFL is my game. I don't follow high school recruiting that closely until such time as there's a big enough story for me to pay attention to, and then I'll catch myself up before we talk about it. I think that when you look at the falling on that, you could also say Vols recruiting under Jeremy Pruitt, because the details of your program, Mr. Jones, under what has got to be one of the dumbest college football head coaching staffs of all time. I mean, you are not that far removed from being utterly incompetent and stupid. So it's good that you're starting to see some recruiting wins in more conventional ways, because my God, did you botch that on the front end? So congratulations to you for actually running a competent football program at this point. I think that when you look at the circumstances, for one particular position group in the National Football League, it's hard for me to not nominate the running backs in general as a position that is outright falling.
I would say I'm not there yet. It would be a surprise for either of these guys if they didn't see the field in 2023. It's not going to be a Le'Veon Bell situation, at least historically. Certainly, that is not that would be a big surprise. But what I would expect is for Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs to not show up for the start of training camp. And as we talk about this over the next several weeks, it is important to note these are not holdouts. None of these guys are under contract. They're not subject to fines. They can basically show up whenever they want. They only start missing game checks if they actually miss games. So theoretically, both of these guys could show up before the season at some point in the middle of training camp, collect all their money, and be fine. But I would expect after the organization, and both organizations tried, after they failed to reach long-term deals to put these two guys up among the highest paid running backs in the NFL, the players now have a say too. I would not expect either of these guys to show up to start training camp.
So that is Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network breaking down everything that happened with the running back position this week. Running backs are in a bad spot. And I don't want to call it an argument. I thought we were having a good conversation. Apparently the caller to the radio show today that I got after it a little bit with on, I think it was like one of the last segments in the noon hour. Apparently he didn't appreciate what I thought was an engaging and productive discussion, even though I called his argument stupid because it was a stupid argument. Derrick Henry is in a tough position as a running back who's going to turn 30 this year and is on an expiring deal, because every other running back in football that's younger than Derrick and certainly is due to get their Derrick Henry sized contract, just flatly got told, no, we're not doing that. You're nuts. We're just going to go find another dude to play for 1.2 next year. If anything, we're going to tag you. You can take your 10.6 and you can walk at this stage. All right. Going to do it for us tonight. It's a longer show than normal, but I appreciate you guys being patient with me. And it's the last show that we're going to do this week. Last show that we're going to do until Monday, because it's my birthday weekend, and I am taking tomorrow night off. Tomorrow is my actual birthday. I'm going to turn 30. It's very, very. I don't know how I feel about it. I keep telling myself that my 30s are going to be the best, because I've never been. I'm sure many of you would have good life advice for me. Turning 30, many of you might not be there quite yet. It's been something that I've been mentally preparing myself for an entire year. But I think my 30s are going to be the best. I think they're going to be the shit. Because professionally, things have never been better. Personally, things have never been better. Physically, I've never felt or knock on wood, look better. But I think I feel as good and everything is as good as it's ever been. So I'm incredibly grateful that I spent a little time here with you guys to celebrate a little bit of it. Thank you for spending another week with me. It's always great to hang out with you guys, even if I don't want to spend my birthday evening with you tomorrow. So there you go. MB says Titan Upload Network just started for those that want more Titan coverage. I don't know what that is, but enjoy it, because I'm done for the rest of the week. See you guys.
Are you surprised to hear that?
Certainly not. The first year we took it to the limit. And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from the beach.
It's been 20 years since then. We haven't been too strong in the last few years.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules. You can't have a newcomer come in and steal a show.
Thank you.